Good morning, equity agents. Happy New Year.
Morning. Happy New Year.
Thanks for joining us for our 2020 Tuesday Talks with Todd and Stacey Schuster.
I guess I'm going to tell you why I thought about doing this. I'm always playing on YouTube, on Facebook, and I've been learning how to play the guitar this year. Last year, it's 2020. Last year I started playing the guitar, so I'm about 9 months into my first year playing the guitar. And I did a lot of it by learning online. There's all kinds of cool classes you can take and trying to figure out, I don't know, what I like and who I engage with. So that kind of gave me the idea of, we've tried doing the Zoom videos, conferencing with you guys, and I noticed a lot of people either don't have audio or they don't want to show their video because they're at home in their pajamas or their sweats or the kids.
Or the dogs
And so we're just not getting the interaction, and when you're sitting there waiting for interaction, you're not getting it. It's kind of like, So this way, I'm not expecting you guys to talk because you can't talk. But it's easy for you to be, hey Mindy, easy for you guys to be sitting at home and typing things in, and hopefully it's less, I don't know, intrusive or scary for you to ask questions. I don't know. I just want to make sure that we're reaching you guys, educating you, training you, motivating you, whatever, in the easiest fashion for you. So that's kind of why we're giving this a shot, and the nice thing is we can keep changing things. I mean, see what works.
Making it better and based upon your feedback.
I've been wanting to do a video on how to properly do a broker rebate. If you ever have your buyers want maybe a portion of your commission, maybe it's a family member and you want to give them $1,500 towards the closing costs so they can help buy a home, or maybe it was a buyer who's also a seller, and you'd said you'd give them a deal if they worked with you and you did both transactions. You know, I really hate it when you guys give away your commission. I mean, that'd be another topic, how to keep your commission. But
if you're going to do it.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, there is a right way and many wrong ways to do it. The main thing to know is this has to be in writing, and it has to show up on the settlement statement, which means the lender has to know about this. Everybody has to know about this. There is no other way to do this than how I'm going to tell you today. So if you're like, well, we can't have it on the settlement statement, or the lender doesn't want that to happen, or they need more money than that.
Or the seller's already giving a $5,000 closing cost concession and I want to give them $3,000 and that exceeds the allowable closing cost amount. Can I just write him a check?
Yeah. How else can we do it, Todd?
There is no other way.
You can't. There is no other way to do it. So some basic things you need to know. When rebating commissions, or your seller is giving monies to the buyer, you can't give any more than 3% max.
Of the sales price.
Of the sales price.
Of the total sales price.
So this is RESPA law, okay? So this is lender, RESPA, can't do it no greater than 3%. Mm-hmm. And most of the time you can't give 3%. Because these monies have to go towards non-recurring closing costs. And the only way you're going to find out what those are is to ask the lender. So you're going to call up the lender and say, hey, look, the seller wants to give some money towards the buyer, or you want to do a broker rebate, and I'll show you the form for the broker to do that. How much can we give in credit to the buyer's closing costs? And you're going to have to get that number from them. And I can almost guarantee it's not even close to 3%. Our loans just aren't that expensive anymore. There aren't enough costs.
Because a non-reoccurring closing cost is something that doesn't keep happening over and over. An HOA fee happens over and over. Homeowners insurance happens over and over each month, each year. So a loan fee would be an example of a non-reoccurring closing cost. And like you said, loans just aren't that expensive anymore.
Yeah, you can't help them with their down payment.
No.
Yeah, so this is going towards non-recurring closing costs. You find out what that number is, and that's how much you can give. And if that's the max, you can't give them any more than that. So an issue that could occur, if you don't ask the lender how much are the non-recurring closing costs, how much can I credit, and you come up with your own number, and it's greater than the amount that the lender allow being towards the non-recurring closing costs, that money is gone. So here's the scenario. Let's say you offer $5,000 in a rebate, and the non-recurring closing cost, the lender says all we can do is $4,000, and you've already told the buyer, I'll give you $5,000. So you're going to come to me or Stacey and say, I can only give $4,000 towards the non-recurring closing cost of the lender. How do I give them that other $1,000?
I promised I would.
You can't. There is no legal way to do that. So it's very important that you ask the lender, and you're working hand in hand with the lender, how much can we give? And you can't give any more than. Now, to start that conversation, you need to use the broker rebate to buyer RESPA compliance loan fraud prevention document. A lot of stuff. This is a approved form from Oliver Frascona's firm. It's in CTM, it's in .loop, and it's on Elevate under the form section. All it's really doing is saying, hey, the broker is getting paid. So one, you don't want to give away your money if for some reason there's a dispute on your commission and you don't get the commission from the other agent. So that's number one. It says brokers being paid at co-op. Number two, it says rebate is shown as a credit from the broker to the buyer in the closing disclosure, if any, and closing statement. And then buyer lender signs below acknowledging receipt. So this needs to be turned into the lender. They need to sign it. Make sure it gets to the title company. Mm-hmm. So here's a scenario that happened, real life. It was agreed to rebate money to the buyer. It was in writing, did all that correctly, but forgot to give this to the title company.
Ooh.
Your role is to look at those settlement statements, correct? So when the settlement statement comes and you get it, 3 to 5 days prior to closing, you need to review and make sure, of course, that your buyer's name's correct, the property address is correct.
The sales price is correct. I've seen that one wrong.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, sales price is correct. And if you did anything like a rebate, make sure that that's been included on the settlement statement. So here's what happened. Settlement statement came in, the agent did not review it ahead of time. They're sitting down at closing, and then they go, oh, where's that rebate that I was giving? It wasn't on there. And we're at the closing date. The seller doesn't have to extend the closing. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're going to give a rebate, that's got to be on the lender, it's got to be on the documents. Now you got to resubmit, you got to get a CDA, that's another 3 days.
Yep.
The seller said, no, we're closing today. The buyer didn't get the rebate, the buyer closes, and now the buyer's going, where's my money? And the agent's like, I want to give it to him.
Yeah.
There's no legal way to do that. So.
There's a lot of illegal ways.
Yes,
no legal.
yes.
And you don't want to get caught up in that.
No, this is RESPA. This is federal law. So,
and that's why this form says loan fraud prevention. Because if you give a buyer money that is not disclosed on the settlement statement, you are performing loan fraud. I mean, plain and simple.
That's a federal
offense.
Yeah. So, always use the buyer broker rebate form. Do this ahead of time. Talk with the lender. Make sure that you're getting the right amount, that you're not saying you're going to get more than you can give. There's no way to make up the difference. review your settlement statement. Make sure this gets to the lender so that it's on the settlement statement and they're getting that rebate. There's one other thing. So the commission that you're getting is coming from a cooperating broker. So we'll say it's ABC Real Estate, and they're the listing agent. They have a contract through the MLS, Cooperating Fee Brokerage, to pay Equity Colorado. Now, when you're rebating your money, you're rebating the commission of what's coming from ABC Realty. And you're telling someone, hey, I'm going to take this money that I haven't yet gotten, and I'm going to give it to somebody else. In all essence, that money is truly Equity's money. So that's Equity Colorado's legal money. And ABC Realty wants to know that Equity Colorado is approving all this. And we have no problem, obviously. Yeah, it's your guys' commission. We need our flat $4.99 fee and we're fine. But that other company wants to make sure that I don't go after them. If for some reason that money gets diverted, never comes to Equity, they're going to go, hey, your agent took the money before it ever came to you, and now we got a big issue. So they're going to want a letter from us. And same with the title company. They need an approval from me, and we do this all the time. Paul's got a template email that just says, hey, we approve the agent taking these monies, applying them towards closing costs. All we need to make sure is that $4.99 and the $60 fee is put on the settlement statement, and you can give away all your money if you wanted to. Again, I don't condone that. Maybe it's a family member. I don't know. It's your money. But you do need a letter from me. So if you're going to do a buyer rebate, that's in writing, and then give us a call, Paul or myself, and we'll send you a letter. We're going to need to know the address, the closing date, and how much you're rebating, and we'll put that in a nice little form, and you're going to send that to the cooperating broker, and most likely also to the title company, just so everybody knows that everybody's cool with this. I think that's everything. Did I miss anything?
No, you covered the pitfalls, you covered the things to be aware of, the obstacles that could come up. I think you got it. So like Todd said, this is in .loop, it's on Elevate, and it's in CTM. I know a lot of you guys are CTM users. So in order to find it, you're just going to click on create a new contract. You're going to scroll down through all the subsections. You've got your listing forms, your sale forms, your disclosure forms. You're going to keep going all the way to the bottom to the Frascona section. It's the 5th document. It's alphabetized. It's the 5th document under the Frascona section. Broker, rebate to buyer. So that's where you can find it.
Perfect.
Questions?
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, if you have questions on that.
Or had an experience with it and need help?
Otherwise, we're moving on to the next subject. That is for you, Kiefer. Kiefer said, will you please hit the gavel when the topic's completed.
I love your humor, Kiefer. Thanks for being here today. So yeah,
my gavel, this is what was given to me after being chairman at Smedra.
That's funny.
That was kind of fun, so I love it.
That's awesome. So great.
I'm the listing agent, and I want to thanks, Paul. And I was going to bring this one up too. So this was about how do you rebate commissions to your buyer, because you're not in control of the commission. The listing company is in control of the commission. So, and we get this question. It's like, how do I rebate money back to my seller?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Very
and
easy
it's
answer.
So simple. Reduce your commission. Change your commission rate on your listing agreement. Don't take it away from them at one point and then give it back to them. Just change it in your listing contract. So if you had your commission set at your side, the total we'll say was at 6%, you're keeping 3.2, you were paying 2.8 out, and in negotiations you ended up changing that. Just do an amendment with the broker. So use the amend with broker. Amend with broker.
Agreement to amend, extend with broker.
Yeah, I'm leaving something out.
Is the
Agreement to extend with broker.
And that's the one that you can change listing price, listing period, and then there's a place for additional amendments, and that's how you modify a commission.
And just change it and just say listing fee to listing agent to be 3%, 2.8, or a total amount. So just put that in, and then you'll put that in the settlement statement and send that to the title company. But you're not rebating, you're just reducing.
Reducing your commission.
So yeah, good question. Thanks,
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, and I was going to write my little notes down, and I left that one off.
Awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for our very first Tuesday talk. So we're really excited about this.
Yeah, and this is really perfect. I was really hoping just half hour. If we see you guys a half hour a week and can answer some timely questions for you, hopefully that's useful. So
exactly. And as weeks progress, if we get an abundance of questions, we'll stay here past 10:30. I mean, if it goes 10:45, 11 o'clock, we're here for you. But yeah, we're just really excited to bring a new approach to the year.
Exactly. And
to end our first Tuesday talk in honor of Kiefer Mansfield.
Thanks, Kiefer. We're up.
We will see you guys tomorrow at the sales meeting and next week again online.
See ya.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.